Welcome back to The Bright Side, friends, your common sense nutritional program. I want this program to be common sense. I don't want it to be complicated. I just want it to be inspiring. I just want it to be simple, because health really is simple, because it's in the body's nature to heal. This is a program where we present alternatives, real alternatives, different ways of looking at the body, an alternative way of looking at illness, an alternative way of looking at the reversal of illness. The Bright Side philosophy says the body is a healing system. You need look no further than the last time you cut your finger. You guys, if you're dealing with a health crisis, a degenerative disease, something that's getting worse and not getting better, just think about the last time you cut your finger, and you will verify for yourself the regenerative capacity that's built into the body. The Bright Side philosophy says health is our birthright. We are designed divinely. Or if you prefer, we're designed via the impeccable refining activity of evolution to be healthy and strong and robust and vital, and to be able to withstand the slings and the arrows of outrageous fortune, as Shakespeare would say, the sea of troubles that our lives float in, and not just to withstand, but to actually thrive and to grow and to become bigger and stronger and better as we navigate the swirling seas of being alive. Pay no attention to any medical professional that tells you it's just the way it is, it's just your genetics, it's in your genes, la la la, la la la. It's not true. The body's a healing system, and we have a right to access it. And most importantly, listen up now, the Bright Side philosophy declares that we can reverse any chronic degenerative disease by simply applying 3 steps. Clean the body, fasting, caloric restriction, paying attention to what we eat, using fiber, using clay, using algae and other detoxification substances, and exhaling correctly, blowing off carbon dioxide. Step 2, breathe the body. Practice slow, deep breathing daily, in through the nose and out through the nose. Slow is the key word. Slowly, in through the nose and out through the nose. And step number 3, making sure the body has the 90 essential nutrients it needs to do its work. And leveraging strategic supplementation, eating lots of veggies, making sure those veggies and quality foods are digested and processed and absorbed correctly. And that's pretty much it, you guys. That is pretty much it. And it doesn't really matter what our flavor of degenerative disease is. You guys know, if you've listened to this program for any length of time, it's pretty much always the same thing. You detox, you correct you stop putting the crap in the system, into the body, you make sure you're breathing correctly, you make sure you're using your supplements and eating correctly and getting your mighty 90 essential nutrients. Now, we've been talking about oils and fats for the last few days, and in order to understand how significant these types of foods and nutrients are, we got to understand a primal distinction in chemistry. A primal distinction in the chemistry of the body and in chemistry in general, and the chemistry of nutrition. A primal basic distinction. A basic fundamental distinction. You can call it hydro and lipo. Some of you guys know what that means. Hydro means water, lipo means fat, and everything in nature can be distinguished by its hydro quality versus its lipo quality, by how well it dissolves in water versus how well it dissolves in fat. And this becomes very relevant in terms of nutrition in the body. There's nutrients in the body. There's nutrients that the body needs that are hydro in nature. They're water soluble. They dissolve in water. Just think of how you put salt in water, boom, it dissolves. By the way, that's a miracle right there, that we don't even appreciate, how you can put salt or sugar in water and it just, poof, it just disappears. You really want to get technical. That's an amazing phenomenon, how you put a substance in water and it just dissolves. That's called water solubility. And there's nutrients in the body that are water-soluble, the B complex, vitamin C, and electrolytes. These elements, these water-soluble elements, are quick-acting. They're electrical. They're about giving the body and the cells that make up the body the spark for quick action in the now, in the short term. The heart, the brain, the digestive system, the skin, the immune system, these are especially dependent on these water-soluble nutrients that are easy for the body to absorb, especially if you drink them and you're beyond tangy tangerine, but they're also easily flushed out of the body. And that's why we need to be saturating our system with the Beyond Tangy Tangerine throughout the day. That's why I always say, sip on your BTT throughout the day, because yes, they're easy to access, these nutrients, but they're also easy to flush out. And if you try to do your Beyond Tangy Tangerine just once a day, a couple hours later after you go to the bathroom, you're going to lose those nutrients. So sip on your water-soluble nutrients throughout the day. Use vegetable juices, which are wonderful sources. Real veg. I'm not talking V8 here. I'm talking real veggie juices. Get a Vitamix, grind up your veggies in water. Use veggie soups, salads, organ meats, eggs. These are all foods which tend to be high in the water-soluble electrical nutrients. Notice these are all foods that have a lot of life force in them. veggies and organ meats and eggs and dairy. These are all foods that are living foods or at one time or close to living foods. And they come packed with these life force nutrients. Now, the liponutrients, they're a bit different. They're stored, these fatty nutrients. They're more about long-term survival, long-term growth, building. They're less about the immediate needs and more about the long-term needs, growth, repair, muscle building, fiber building, bone building. These are the harder to access nutrients, but they're also stored. The DEEK vitamins, I call them the DEEK vitamins, D-E-A-K, DEEK. Vitamin D, vitamin E, vitamin A, vitamin K, essential fatty acids, your EFAs. And many of the minerals are lipo. They're stored. They're not flushed out of the body with the same kind of ease that the water-soluble nutrients are, but they're much more difficult for the body to access, especially as we age, especially as we get older. And because of their growth and repair and building properties, if you're not accessing these nutrients, it's going to be difficult to anti-age. It's going to be harder to build bone. You're going to be more likely to suffer from degeneration. But these are tricky, these nutrients, because they're harder to access. We got to pay close attention, not just to our intake of these fatty nutrients, but also to how well we absorb and digest them. And this becomes extra important if you have liver problems, intestinal problems, gallbladder issues. God forbid you've had a gallbladder removed. If you're a woman, you've had female health issues, or you've had a hysterectomy, because female hormones are involved in the absorption of these kinds of nutrients. All right, hang tight. We're going to take a break. We'll finish up when we come back. I'm Pharmacist Ben. 844-236-6010 is our number. We'll be back right after this. So we've been talking about fats and ways to access fats. It's important to understand this primal distinction between water-soluble nutrients and fat-soluble nutrients. Water-soluble nutrients give you a quick spark, the B complex, vitamin C, electrolytes. The fat-soluble nutrients are more for long-term. The glands of the body are especially dependent on fatty nutrients, most significantly the prostate gland, the breasts, the reproductive glands. That means if you have any female health issues, endometriosis, PMS, breast health problems, fibroid cysts, or if you're a guy, you got prostate problems, pay close attention to your intake and your absorption of vitamins A and E and D and K, as well as omega-3 fats, omega-6 fats, zinc, selenium. All of these require a fully functioning fat absorption system. Make sure you're using digestive enzymes with your fats, the ultimate enzymes. Make sure you're using bile salts, B-I-L-E, bile salts, lecithin, apple cider vinegar. These are all very, very important for helping absorb fat, helping the body absorb fats for fat absorption. As we've been talking about for the last few days, use coconut oil and butter with your veggies. Combining oils with your veggies can help the body access these fatty nutrients. And then applying a little bit of heat can be a nice way to liberate the fatty nutrients from the vegetables. Add some lecithin perhaps, and you'll get more extraction power. Use some salt. Salt amps up the electrical value of oil. Oil's already highly electrical. That's one of the major features of a good oil. It's got lots of electrical energy. If you mix salt with your oil, you'll amp up that electrical energy, and the combination of salt and oil is incredibly tasty. That's what French fries are about. In fact, French fries are a combination of salt and oil and sugar. The potatoes have a high carbohydrate, sweet kind of taste. If you chew your potato very slowly and let the enzymes in your mouth contact the French fry or the mashed potato or whatever, you'll notice a big hit of sugars coming out of it. Why do you think we like to put butter on our mashed potatoes with lots of salt? Why do you think we like to fry our potatoes with lots of salt? All of these are ways of combining salt and oil and sugar, which the human body loves. We love the combination of oil and salt and sugar. I remember reading a story about the guy who started Krispy Kreme donuts. Donuts are a classic example of a food that combines these three flavors and that are absolutely irresistible. Anyway, this guy was from North Carolina. He moved into a small town in North Carolina that never heard of donuts before. And he opened up a Krispy Kreme donut shop, and within a day of opening up the shop, he had lines around the block for people waiting to get their Krispy Kreme donuts at 5 a.m. They started standing in line at 5 a.m. for their Krispy Kreme donuts. It's not just a Krispy Kreme donuts. What makes Krispy Kreme so wonderful is it's got more oil and more sugar. But all donuts are sugar and oil and fat. And have you noticed how irresistible donuts are? If you don't care about your fellow man and you want to make a lot of money, open up a donut shop. There's a guy here on the mall on the 16th Street Mall in Denver. who has a mini donut stand. There's all kinds of food stands on the mall, but this guy's got people lined up. No matter what the weather is, there's people lined up to buy mini donuts because we can't get enough sugar and oil and salt. Sugar and oil and salt. The combination of sugar and oil and salt is absolutely irresistible. Fats amplify flavor. This is one of the beautiful qualities of a good fat. It amplifies flavor. That's why fat is added to foods. That's why fat's added to chocolate, for example. Chocolate by itself wouldn't taste anywhere near as delicious if it didn't have a lot of fat in it. Fats amplify flavor. Salt is electrical. Heat releases sugar from veggies. Between the three, the salt and the sugar and the oil, you get this incredibly healthy and very tasty food that you can use to fill up your stomach in a meal. You know, if you just start off your meal with broccoli and butter and salt, you're not going to be likely to eat as much. You probably won't even be eating dessert or a lot of bread. You can use this combination of veggies and oil and salt as a snack in the middle of the day. These are the flavors we're looking for when we have a snack food. There's no such thing as a snack food that doesn't have that combination, but we can be proactive and hit our hot buttons. And then when somebody puts French fries or potato chips or tacos or Doritos in front of us, we're not going to be as likely to eat them. We probably won't eat them. If you want to go raw, get yourself a Vitex. It's a high-powered blender. Add your veggies to water, blend it all up with salt and spices. The Vitex will electrify the fluid. A blender, when it spins water around in a vortex, creates an electrical current. And the combination of salt and spices, by the way, are also highly electrical. So the salt and the spices and the veggies and the vortex in your blender, your Vitex, will make a very tasty and very satisfying beverage. Ideal, perfect for fasting, perfect for losing weight, perfect for detoxifying in a very satisfying way. And, of course, if you're using heat and oil, the same chemistry that releases the flavors from your vegetables will release the nutrients from the vegetables. This can be especially important if you're dealing with a gallbladder problem, or if you're dealing with a liver problem, or if you're dealing with any kind of digestive health issue. The heat and oil liberate phytonutrients, which can be important not just for the internal part of the body, but also for the skin. These nutrients that are released by the heat are deposited in the skin and the eyes, for that matter, and they're stored in the skin and the eyes, where they function as protective molecules. To cut to the chase, veggies plus oil plus heat means better skin, less wrinkles, less dark spots, less macular degeneration, and of course, more growth and building internally in the body. And if you use coconut oil, if you're going to use coconut oil to release the nutrients, you're going to get an extra benefit, something called MCT oil, medium chain triglyceride oil, MCT oil. MCT oil is an amazing source of rapidly used energy. MCTs have a very fascinating chemical nature, very fascinating. That makes them super, super, super valuable, and coconut oil is 60 to 70% MCT oil. So anybody tells you about coconut oil being a problem, they should probably be boning up a little bit on MCTs, medium chain triglycerides. Bodybuilders have been using them for years because MCTs have a unique quality when it comes to energizing the body. And we'll talk about that tomorrow as we continue on the bright side. Time to hit our phones. 844-236-6010. Sharon in Austin, Texas. What's going on? How can we help you?
Hi.
Hey.
I had hello, can you hear me?
I hear you loud and clear, Sharon. Go ahead.
Okay. I had an incident the other day that was consistent with gallbladder.
Okay.
With gallstones. Real sharp pain, looked it up on the Merck Manual Professional, and went, wow, that's gallstones.
Okay.
If I have gallstones, what can I do?
Oh, you can do a lot. You can do a lot. This is the first time it happened? First time you noticed it? Oh, that's good. Excellent. On the right side of the body, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. You looked it up and you're pretty sure it's gallstones. A gallstone attack, they call it.
Yeah.
Okay, hang on, and we'll show you how easy this is and answer your question when we come back. I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side on the Genesis Communication Network. We'll be back after this. Okay, Sharon in Texas got some questions about gallstones. Sounds like you did a little research. That's always a good thing, to do your own research. What did you eat, by the way, when you noticed the pain, Sharon?
A big plate of cheesy nachos.
Cheesy nachos, did you say?
Yes.
That'll teach you, Sharon from Austin, Texas. No, I'm just teasing. Here's the deal. The gallbladder is a bag of bile. And by the way, to anybody who's even remotely considering having your gallbladder removed, in my opinion, if you don't have cancer, you're crazy if you do it. And if any doctor tells you that you should have your gallbladder removed for anything shy of course, some kind of tumor or cancer of the gallbladder, run. Don't walk. Run out of his office. 500,000, 500,000 gallbladders are removed every year from unsuspecting, innocent Americans. It's awful. Anyway, gallbladder is a bag of bile. Bile's so interesting. You know, we don't talk anywhere near this program we do, but in the world of health, we don't address bile anywhere nearly as much as we should. Bile does many, many things in the body. Now, most people, at least if you're listening to this program, you know bile is important for helping process fats. Bile is your body's internal soap, if you will. It's a detergent. It has a very same chemical nature as Dawn dishwashing detergent. And just like Dawn dishwashing detergent is necessary for getting peanut butter off your knives or off your plates or greasy food off of your pots and pans, bile is necessary for separating the greasy or fatty or lipo elements from foods. That's its main role. So you eat a fatty food, goes into your stomach, and then it drops down from your stomach into the first part of your intestine, and as soon as it leaves your stomach and goes into your intestines, a big squirt of bile comes out of the gallbladder and goes onto the food and breaks up the food, liberates the fats. However, if you don't have a gallbladder, that's not going to happen. If you don't have a gallbladder, doctors will say, well, your liver there is a little pipe that goes from your liver into your intestine, and that's true, but it's a microscopic little pipe, and you get a drop of bile, a little tiny squirt of bile. The gallbladder is a big bag of bile, and it drenches the food with bile. It saturates the food with bile. And here's the thing where it gets tricky, Sharon, and everybody listening who's got gallbladder problems. As the bile leaves the intestine, it circulates. And as it's circulating through the large intestine and back into the liver, it does a big circle. It's picking up poison and dirt and crap and drugs and toxins. Bile is not just a fat-liberating element. It's also a detoxification element. It's how the body cleans out excess hormones. And one of the first things that happens when you have a gallbladder problem or a bile problem is you have hormone problems because you don't clear out your excess toxic hormones as effectively. And bile helps process drugs and clean out prescription drugs and non-prescription drugs for that matter. And so if you have a bile problem or you don't have a gallbladder problem, you're not going to be clearing out drugs as effectively. Toxic waste, heavy metals, all the crap that builds up in our system is cleared out through the bile. And so without a gallbladder, that's not going to happen as effectively. And even worse, if you got lots of digestive problems, and if your bile is working overtime to try to clear excess food toxins and excess hormones and excess heavy metals and excess crap from living a 21st century American lifestyle, the bile is going to get sludgy, like engine oil gets sludgy. Is this making sense, Sharon?
Yes, very much. Amazing.
Okay, the bile gets dirty, it gets sludgy, and on its return trip, it starts to get thick. And guess what happens once it gets thick? It doesn't come out of the tubes and the pipes as effectively. It clogs the pipes. And as it gets thicker and it clogs the pipes, it starts to form crystals. And as this continues, those crystals become stones. And then you say, I've got a gallstone, and your boneheaded medical professional says, let's take out the gallbladder. This is the stupidest, near the top of the list of the stupidest things doctors do, and that's a very long list, by the way. To take out the gallbladder because you have dirty bile and compromise your ability to digest foods and detoxify your body for the rest of your life is idiocy with a capital I. Play this archive for any boneheaded medical professional who tells you to have a gallbladder removed. So here's what you got to do, Sharon. You got to figure out why you're not processing foods correctly, especially fatty foods. Okay? That means, number one, do a food diary. Okay? And notice when you have other digestive symptoms, especially loose stools or maybe constipation. Usually it's loose stools or gas or bloating. Any digestive discomfort, connect those with foods and immediately eliminate those foods. It might help you to stop eating for a couple of days to resensitize yourself. Then start using digestive support, especially for fats. All the things we talked about earlier in the program. Lecithin, bile salts, the ultimate enzymes from longevity. The biolumin nightly essence, probiotics play a major role in helping us process fats. Chop up your fats, chop up your fatty foods, break them up, I should say, or blend them, make them easier to process. Mix up your veggies with oils and with lecithin. All the things we've been talking about here. Use MCT oils. Listen up tomorrow. We'll talk about MCT oils. Lecithin, by the way, is very similar to bile. This is one of the reasons why lecithin is so effective. Bile and lecithin have a lot in common. In fact, there is lecithin in bile. Bile is partially composed of lecithin, the same stuff you buy at the health food store. So when you use lecithin, you're actually kind of supporting bile. That's how lecithin works. It's like a component of bile. It helps your body make bile. It acts like bile. So using lecithin can help. Then there are nutrients, amino acids especially, that help you make bile, build bile. Taurine, Taurine, 100 to 200 milligrams of taurine a day. Glycine. You'll get that in the whey protein, or you can supplement with a few hundred milligrams of glycine a day. That's also important for making bile. Choline, Choline, that's also important for making bile. 100 milligrams, 200 milligrams a day. Methionine, that's another amino acid-like substance that can help you process fats. Maybe a couple hundred milligrams of methionine a day. Make sure you're using lots of sulfur. Sulfur is very, very important for helping process fats. Use MSM sulfur. You'll get sulfur also in the Beyond Tangy Tangerine and the Healthy Start Pack. So you got lots of things you could do. Sharon, please don't let anybody take your gallbladder out, and treat your gallstones or your pain as a diagnostic tool that are informing you way better than any doctor or any test. Your gallbladder is your best doctor. Your symptoms are your best tests. They're your best diagnostic tools. Use your symptoms as a diagnostic tool. You'll know you're getting better when your symptoms start to improve, okay?
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. God bless. I hope everything works out, Sharon. Thanks for your call. All right, Debbie in Florida, what's up? Welcome to the bright side.
Hello?
Hello, Debbie. What's up?
Hi.
Hey.
What do you suggest doing for I get sinus problems constantly and severe headaches.
Okay. Sinuses, probably fluid and congestion, correct?
Correct.
Pressure in your head and the sinus area, like over your nose, that kind of thing. All right. Mm-hmm. Whenever pressure is building up in the head, think of your head is made up of you could look inside your head, you'd see all of these caverns. The sinuses are like little chambers, if you will. And when you feel pressure in the sinuses above your nose or in your cheek area, what you're experiencing is the pressure that is being applied to the sinus cavity by fluid. All right? It's excess buildup of fluid. Whenever you have fluid, not just in your sinuses, but whenever you have fluid building up, you have a sign of a defensive response. So important, you guys. Sinuses, respiratory secretions, any kind of fluid secretions are a sign that the body is defending itself. Hang tight, Debbie. We'll take a break and we'll finish up when we come back, okay? I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side on the Genesis Communication Network. We're coming back at you right after this. Don't go away. Debbie in Florida. Got some sinus pressure, huh?
Yes.
Okay, so what you want to think about is a defensive response, as I was saying before the break. Anytime fluid accumulates in the body, it's one of the ways the body is protecting itself. What happens is the circulatory vessels, the blood and the lymph, they open up and they start to leak out their fluids in an attempt for the body to get all the defensive cells to that area. And so one of the things that happens is you'll end up with this fluid accumulation that puts pressure on the sinuses and ultimately can cause headaches as well. So here's what you need to do. You need to associate the sinus problems when they flare up with something that's occurring in your environment, most especially food. That's the most likely suspect. So it will help you, number one, to note your flare-ups, note when it gets worse, and then connect those flare-ups to something that you did within the last hour or 2 or 3 hours before. Does that make sense how I explained that? It was kind of messed up. Okay, good. So the flare-ups are your best friends because the flare-ups are giving you very valuable information. Anytime you have something increase or flare or spike, that's very important and valuable information. All the stuff that you're trying to do is you're trying to read your body, decode the symptoms of your body. That's basically what we're talking about here. So when the sinus flares up, what did I do an hour ago, 2 hours ago, 3 hours ago? And it helps to write things down. We have a way, our brain has a way of tuning things out. So if you try to use your memory, that might not be as useful for you. So write it down and see what happens. And pay especially close attention to foods because that's the most likely entrance of offending agents that will spark up a defensive response. Sometimes with the sinuses, you also have respiratory things like your breathing, and that can also be involved as well. But food, you have a lot of control over the foods you eat. So see if you can notice that you have problems with specific foods. Number one, notice if your sinus symptoms flare up when you eat certain foods. And number two, look for digestive symptoms. It's very helpful to find bloating and gas and discomfort and loose stools and all the things we always talk about here, and then connect those up with foods, and that'll give you another piece of information. And third thing, those are the first two things, okay? Look for flare-ups in the sinus, and then associate those with something that you did or something in your environment. And then look for digestive symptoms and associate those with flare-ups or also with digestive problems. Those are the first two things, okay? Mm-hmm. Okay, good. Then the third thing you're going to do, and this is also important, and it's just as important as the other things that we were talking about, you want to start to pay attention. You want to start to look to anything that's going on in your body in terms of inflammation or immunity in the joints, perhaps, or autoimmune issues, or anything that's going on in any kind of inflammatory issues. And again, link those up to problem foods or something that's in your environment. So you're going to look for flare-ups in your sinus, you're going to look for digestive problems, and you're going to look for inflammatory issues in your joints or pain or anything along those lines. Do you have anything along those lines? Does that sound familiar? Any arthritis or gout or anything like that?
I did, but I'm taking the glucogel.
Well, no, ma'am. I'm just talking about in terms of information. Doesn't mean that you're a bad person and you're correct. Okay, good. Yes. These are your friends. Remember how I said, does that make sense how I'm explaining you how your symptoms are your friends? They're informing you? Right. So all that is good information for you. Then we want to start to work on digestive health. Number one, digestive enzymes are very valuable because if you take them on an empty stomach, they will help with the inflammatory response, and they may help you with your immune system. And of course, if you take them with food, they're digestive enzymes. They'll help you access nutrients, and they can minimize the entrance of toxins, incompletely processed foods into the blood. So use digestive enzymes after meals, and then make sure you're swallowing down some apple cider vinegar, swigging down some apple cider vinegar with your enzymes. And then use the BioLumin Nightly Essence, 3 capsules in the morning, 3 capsules at night. Very important for any kind of defensive response. The bacteria in the gut are majorly important for helping us process food and prevent the entrance of toxins into the blood. And then all of the digestive support stuff that we just talked about. And last but most certainly not least, Debbie, this is very important. You might want to even consider this first. If you can do a 2 or 3 day fast, okay, on the Swear V, or even if you just do lemon juice for 2 or 3 days, see what happens to your symptoms when you fast. If you notice that your fasting is making a difference in your symptomology, bingo. You'll know that you have something going on percolating in the digestive system. And not only will you help your sinuses, but you'll also end up adding years to your life and reducing the likelihood of other awful degenerative crises that can occur. Does that help, Debbie?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Okay, God bless. Have a beautiful day. Thank you. Karen in Austin, Texas. What's up? Welcome to the bright side.
Hello?
Hello. Hey, Karen.
Oh, this is Karen. I'm a fairly recent listener.
Okay.
And I've heard you say about if the gallbladder is removed, some of the vitamins can't be absorbed. And I just heard you say, God forbid, if you had your gallbladder removed.
Did you take it out? Did you have it out?
Well, a little over a year ago, I didn't know any better, and I had a very bad attack, and
they took it out.
Just take it out. So.
And now you're healthy and strong and vital. You're a new person because the doctor took your gallbladder out. You feel great, right?
No, I feel great because I've been taking natural vitamins.
Oh, wait a minute. You didn't feel great after you took your gallbladder out? I don't understand. You mean they took the gallbladder out and you didn't get all better and you were completely healed and strong and wonderful now that the doctor took your gallbladder out? That didn't happen?
No, not really. But
oh my God! Can you tell that doctor to put that gallbladder back in? You want your money back?
I wish I could now.
No, I'm just teasing you. You can still. Your life's not over. There's still things you could do, but you have to be very vigilant. You have to be very, very vigilant. Number one, you want to really pay close attention to fats and fatty vitamins because those are all the things you're not going to be absorbing, and minerals. Fats, fatty vitamins, and minerals. So start supplementing right away with vitamins D, E, A, and K. I call them DEAK. D, E, A, and K, essential fatty acids. I'll tell you how you do this in a second. I'm just going to give you the concept. Essential fatty acids and minerals. This is very important. The mineral aspect is very, very important, especially zinc and selenium and calcium for that matter, because these minerals, many of the minerals, are not handled by the water part of the body, but they're handled by the gallbladder and the bile and the fats. So you're going to run into mineral deficiency issues that just supplementing isn't going to help you with. Now, so with your minerals, with your vitamin E and A and D and K, and your essential fatty acids, take some lecithin granules. Go to the health food store, buy some lecithin granules, put it in water, drink it down after all your meals, especially fatty meals with DEAK, vitamins D, E, A, and K, with your ultimate essential fatty acids and with minerals. Go get yourself some extra bile salts, B-I-L-E, bile salts. Go over to my website, brightsideben.com, or call 866-735-2470. Tell them you want the ultimate enzymes and you want the biolumin nightly essence. After all your meals, you're going to take some ultimate enzymes, 2 or 3 after all meals, especially fatty meals, with your lecithin, with your DEEK and your essential fatty acids and your minerals, and then a little bit of apple cider vinegar to activate the enzymes. And you probably should be taking some... you should probably getting on the biolumin nightly essence. Probiotics are very, very important for helping you process fats. So you're going to get yourself on DEEK. That is the vitamins D, E, A, and K. The ultimate EFAs for your essential fatty acids, your minerals. Get on the Healthy Start Pack. That'll get you everything. And then throw in the ultimate enzymes, throw in some biolumin nightly essence, go to the health food store and get some lecithin granules, bile salts, and make sure you're doing some apple cider vinegar as well. And do small amounts of fatty foods. And with all your vegetables, Karen, mix in some oil. If you're going to do like brought in not salad vegetables, but the cooking kinds of vegetables, make sure you're heating them up slightly with a little bit of oil to help liberate or free the fatty nutrients from those vegetables, which are very, very important for skin health and for eye health. Okay, lots of stuff you could do. So it's not like it's the end of the world that you don't have a gallbladder, but that just means you got to start paying closer attention to how you use fats and fatty vitamins, how you process them, and how you take them. Okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you. God bless, Karen. Good luck with everything. Leo, my friend, what's up, buddy? Got about a minute. How you doing? Long time no talk to.
Hey, good to hear from you, Ben. I hope a
nice
friend of mine was listening to the gallbladder discussion. She had her gallbladder taken out, so I thank you also for sharing all this information over the years, and I congratulate you on your Critical Health News post with George Norrie.
Thank you.
I just wanted to add something that reinforces what you've been talking about for many years. And I studied natural hygiene, and there are 4 things that in natural hygiene are considered to be 4 basic laws that apply to animals in the wild. And I wanted to read those on air.
Please do. We only have about a minute though, so I want to hear them.
Okay. Animals in the wild eat raw foods that they're biologically adapted to, and they live 6 to 8 times past their physical maturity age. Animals in the wild rarely, if ever, get sick, and they maintain their vigor, vitality, and their appearance all the way throughout their life until a few days before they die, or a few moments before they die.
I want to add one thing. Let me say one thing. One more thing, Leo. That's animals in the wild until we domesticate them. And then it's all over once we domesticate them. But go ahead, real quick. We're going to run out of time, so just say what you were going to say, Leo.
Oh, that was it. I just wanted to bring up those points, and I wanted to emphasize that we're no different. Our bodies, our body is trying to get us back to that. We physically mature around the age of 25, and our body is always trying to keep us at around that state of health.
Leo, call back tomorrow. We're out of time. Give your radio show a plug, too, real quick, Leo. Got about 10 seconds.
Yeah, my radio show is worldgonecrazy.net. That's where you can listen to it. It's on Sunday nights at 9 Pacific time.
Worldgonecrazy.net. Thanks for listening, folks. Thank you, Leo. Appreciate it. I'm Pharmacist Ben. We'll talk to y'all later, folks. Have a beautiful day. Bye for now.